Hey everybody, welcome back. Today I'm going to make some eggplant caponata. So caponata is an eggplant dish from Sicily. This is the way I make it. I'm sure I'm breaking somebody's rule, but hey, what are you going to do? So it's eggplant that is in a sweet and sour tomato sauce, and I love it with bread. When I have people over, it's an antipasto that I've made. So just a bowl of caponata with some slices of toasted crusty bread. It's great. I'm gonna try making some sandwiches with it tomorrow. So I've been invited to a party, a sunset boat cruise under the Golden Gate Bridge. And I'm gonna make a variety of sandwiches. So one of the sandwiches that I'm gonna make, or I'm gonna try to make, is a caponata sandwich, just in case anybody's vegan. So there's no meat, no vegetable products in it. All right, so it's pretty easy to make and it's really delicious. I'll take you to the counter and show you what I have. This is what we need for our eggplant caponata. So I got these Italian eggplants at Berkeley Bowl. So 3 kind of smallish eggplants. If you're using the big eggplants, probably 1 is enough. A few sweet peppers. I'm just using different colors to make it pretty, even though they will be drowned in the tomato sauce. An onion, some celery. The celery is a little bit old, but I'm gonna trim off the yucky parts and just use, I'm gonna use the leaves and the good part of the stems. Some olive oil for frying. Capers and olives. I'm going to throw in some Calabrian chili paste. So it's a sweet and sour, but I like to also add a little bit of spicy to it just to kind of intensify the flavor. Vinegar, I'm using red wine vinegar, sugar, and then I have a bunch of tomatoes that I need to use up. So I have some Campari tomatoes. One of them is getting kind of wrinkly, but I think it's still good. I can still use that. And I have some of these sugar plum grape tomatoes. So that should be enough. Just in case, if I need more tomato, I have a tube of tomato paste. I could squeeze a little bit of tomato paste into it. So we'll just see how it goes. And then I have a bowl of salted water. I'm going to cut the eggplant up into cubes, let it sit in the water for about 15 or 20 minutes to draw out some of the bitterness. And then I will roast the eggplant and then throw everything else together. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is cube my eggplant. I got these smaller eggplants because I'm hoping that there aren't a lot of seeds. Looks pretty good. The salt water will keep it from turning black. And as I said, it will draw out some of the bitterness. So I'm just going to let it soak in this salted water for about 20 minutes. Okay, there we go. I'm going to prep the rest of my vegetables and then get ready to start cooking some of this stuff. As far as the olives and capers, you can use as much as you want. So this looks like a good amount to me of olives. Who knows, I may want to add more later. As far as I'm concerned, you can never have too many olives. I just love them. And this dish really is a marriage of all of these different flavors and textures coming together. That's what makes it so wonderful. All right, so we got that many olives. And I'm going to add a few spoonfuls of capers. And that is all of the prep. Everything is ready. The eggplant is just about ready to go in the oven. I'm just waiting for my oven to come up. It's a lot of capers, all right. I'm just waiting for my oven to come up to 400 degrees. And then we'll get started. I love vinegar, so I'm putting a half a cup of vinegar and 2 tablespoons of sugar. Let's just let that dissolve. Okay, my eggplant has been soaking for about 20 minutes, and I don't know how much you can see, but the water has turned brown. My eggplant is still nice and white. So I'm just going to transfer it to a strainer. Give it a little rinse. Dry it with a paper towel. And then put it in the oven, 400 degrees, for about 20 minutes or so. Just gonna give my cookie sheet a little bit of a spray here, some olive oil. Transfer my eggplant. So you just want to keep an eye on it. You don't want it to dry up. You don't want dried eggplant in your caponata. All right, let me give this a little spritz with some olive oil. Some people fry their eggplant. It just seems like it's a lot of oil for me. All right, so here we go in the oven. The eggplant is roasting in the oven. So I have some olive oil in a pan. I had it on high. I just turned it down to medium. I can see it's starting to shimmer. So we're gonna go in with the onions first. And then you just want to saute the onions on a medium heat. Be careful not to burn them until they start to become transparent and slightly caramelized. We're building up the flavor from the base here with the onions. So this might take 15 or 20 minutes. I'm not adding a lot of salt, but I do like to salt my onions when I'm sauteing them. So I'll just put a little salt and some pepper. It smells great already, so I'm just gonna let that cook on a low and slow heat before I add the other ingredients. Okay, I can smell the onions. They're looking great. Starting to get a little bit caramelized. So there's a little browning going on here. That's perfect. They're soft, so I can cut through them with my spoon. There's still a little bit of resistance. So I'm gonna say they are good. That's where I want them. So next I'll add the peppers. Now I know some people will add the celery. Oh, some people might even start off with the celery and the onions like a sofrito. I like my celery still a little bit crunchy in caponata, so I'm not going to add the celery just yet. But I do want the peppers to soften up a little bit and the onions can continue cooking. So I'm going to let this go for another 5 minutes or so. It's been about 5 minutes. The peppers are starting to soften up. So next I'm going to add my celery. And I don't need to cook the celery that long because it will continue to cook in the tomato sauce. And I want it to still have a little bit of crunch. So I'm just going to let that go for a few minutes. Check on my eggplant, see how we're doing with that. The eggplant is looking good. It looks to me like it's starting to brown. I think I'm gonna let it go just for a few more minutes while the celery cooks. Okay, my eggplant is done. I can smell the celery, so it's starting to release some of its aroma. Okay, next, olives and capers. Tomatoes. Oh, it smells great. And I think this is going to be enough tomatoes. I don't think I need to add any more. So I'm going to let this cook down a little bit before I add the eggplant. Okay, I'm trying to be patient here. It smells so good and I really just want to finish everything so that I can eat it. But I'm still going to let it cook for a little bit. And here's a little tip. You're waiting for something to finish cooking. Do the dishes. I've cleaned everything up. I went outside, I'd watered my plants. You just don't want to rush things. Take your time and then clean up. When you're finished, you have a nice clean kitchen. You can sit down and relax and eat and enjoy it. All right, let's take a look, see how we're doing here. Oh, look at that, it's beautiful. All the different colors, all these different flavors coming together. It's starting to thicken up. So I think this is a good time for me to add more liquid. So I'm going to add my sweet and sour. So my vinegar and sugar, and then a tablespoon or a teaspoon of Calabrian chili. I see there was some sugar still in the bottom of my cup, so a little water to get that out. Ah, it smells so good. Okay, and then I'm going to add my eggplant and let this all cook down. I want it to be on the thick side because I'm going to try to use this in a sandwich. So I want all this liquid to cook down. Ah, it just smells so good. All right, so I'm going to let that cook. I will check it in a little bit just to see if I need to adjust the seasonings. And I'm going to say probably about 10 minutes or so before I come back and check it one more time. In the meantime, I have a few more dishes to wash and then I can relax. It's been about 10 minutes, so let's take a peek. See how we're doing here. Beautiful. Oh, it smells so good. Looks amazing. So many beautiful colors. I think I've seen people make pasta with this, but I don't know if I really like sweet and sour sauce on my pasta. All right, so let's give it a taste and see how we're doing here. Let's see, I'll get some eggplant. I'm gonna go for a bigger piece of eggplant. and some celery. Try one of the peppers, and I got a caper. And an olive. So I want the full effect of all the ingredients. Mamma mia. That is an explosion of flavor. Everything is so balanced, works so well together. The sweet and the sour. All of those different textures, the olives and the capers, giving those nice little explosions of saltiness. The eggplant's perfectly cooked. I'm going to turn it off, let it sit with the lid off to let some of that liquid evaporate. Oh, it's so good. You guys, if you've never had caponata, try it. Play with the flavors. I can taste that little hint of Calabrian chili in there, which helps to balance out some of the sweetness. Oh my God. I could just sit here and eat this whole pan. But, oops, just got it on the stove. I'm going to let it cool down, and then I'm going to try to make a little sandwich and see how that works out. All right, that's all for today. Caponata from beautiful Sicily. So try it. I hope you enjoy it. Remember to like this video and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Who knows what we're going to make in Appa's kitchen? I never really know until I wake up. All right. Enjoy, everybody. Ciao for now.